morning. Okay, today we want to learn about how to develop a logical framework. Sometimes some people call it a log frame. So log frame is very, very important whenever we want to come up with a monitoring evaluation tool, also when we want to come with a proposal. So one thing I just want to let you know that for us to develop log frame, then we really need to come up with goals and come up with objectives, because it is out of these goals and out of these objectives that we are going to come up with our activities, which are very important for the sake of monitoring the activities which are taking place or which are being implemented for the purpose of achieving the objectives and also achieving the goals at the end of the day. So one thing I just want to inform you that monitoring evaluation, the beauty about it is that it's a building block in that as we start from one level, then we can use that level to go to the next level, like that. Because you'll realize that we are going to start with to develop goals, and then we're going to see how to develop objectives. Then after that, we are going to come up with the activities. Then after that is when we start developing the logical framework. Then after developing the log frame, we are going to come up with a monitor evaluation tool and also come up with activity schedule. So it will be very easy for you to connect from one level to another once we started from this level. And it's going to be a sequential learning, which is going to be logical to you, logical to your understanding, in that everything is going to be connected in one way to another until the end. So basically, I can always call it like it's a mathematic, but the only thing is no any kind of figure. It's a mathematic which is just in form of words, yeah. Because really, what I'm going to teach you, they have some kind of sequential order or sequential flow, which is really making sense, and also which is you can analyze from the point I start until the end. So that's also, in summary, is what I can describe a log frame. A log frame is basically a logical or a framework that makes some logical sense in that you can analyze it from both horizontally and also from vertical point of view. So without saying much, let's just go straight to goals. So we really need to understand goals, objectives, activities, and also we are able to make things like inputs, expected outputs, impact, output, and outcome, and get to understand what they are. So we really need to get to understand the definition of goals. So one thing I would like to say that goals are addressed. So one thing you really need to analyze here is the thematic issue. Yeah. So basically, goals, they are not more in descriptive. They are short in descriptive, but they have the broad themes in them. So it is in these broad themes that the objectives, specific objectives, will originate from. So we're able to see what are these broad themes, and also from broad themes we are also going to come up with various specific variables, or the variables are basically the underlying concept factors, which are leading to these various themes that are broad in nature. So That's a definition of goals, and they are descriptive in that they are descriptive. They try to give a description of what the thematic issues that need to be addressed within a period of time. So goals, basically we always identify based on issues that affect the community, and these issues we always come across them normally when there's an outbreak or something, and we normally hear about them with television or maybe press media or even the newspaper. As you can hear, maybe there's an outbreak of cholera somewhere, or there's an outbreak of malaria, or the malaria prevalence within a given region is very high. So in that case, then it can make someone to be interested to come up with that goal. So as you come up with a goal, then it should be very, very necessary that you really need to state it well and give it a period of 5 years for it to be addressed. So we really need to get to know the characteristics of goals at the end of the project. Another thing is that they don't have, but only have dependent variables as the broad theme. So the broad theme that we have as dependent variables will take a period of 5 years. So those are descriptive goals. So really once so I mentioned something about characteristics of goals that it cannot be measured from the beginning of the project, but at the end of the project is when it will be measured. That means that once the project has come to completion, then we can be able to measure that what impact, the extent of the impact, or the rate of the outcome in terms of the percentage, what have we achieved so far. So that's only possible with God when only the project has come to completion. And that's why we are seeing that it's only going to be measured at the end of the project. But at the beginning of the project, you cannot specify that you want to reduce maternal mortality by 20% as a goal. That is not possible. It won't be accurate because it won't be based on some any measurement or any kind of calculation. But we are able to ascertain that once we have completed the project, then we can be able to come with the solution. So we really need to get to know various themes, and from these themes, then they are the ones that we always come up with. So the four themes that we always have is example of these are things that can always comprise our goals. Yeah, means that we can always come up with a goal to reduce child mortality in Kisumu County, to improve on child health or to reduce child ill health in Kisumu County by the year 2028, which is 5 years from now. To reduce maternal mortality in Kisumu County by the year 2028. To improve food security in Kisumu County by the year 2028, or to increase food production. We can talk about also food production. To increase food production in Kisumu County by the year 2028. So this comprises of the goals. So we can always generate goals based on these things. And if you look at this, they are very broad. They are broad themes. And from this, then we can always come up with objectives. Objectives originate from these broad themes. So having talked about this, I'll go straight to objectives. So objectives, we need to get to understand what you're still writing. They are descriptive statements. Which uses independent variables. And normally these independent variables, they always come like interventions. Yeah? They always come like interventions. And independent variables to improve or to bring positive, let me use the words to bring positive outcome or results on the dependent variables. So the specific objectives, we are being introduced to independent variables, which we are going to see what they are, and also we are being introduced to dependent variables. And these positive results that we are talking about is basically the good thing that we want to see. And maybe they can always be in terms of reduction of child mortality or reduction of child ill health. When we talk about reduction, that narration whereby it's reducing something that is not desirable to us, then still we are able to call it a positive result. And in cases for increase of food production, increase of income, so those are also positive results that we are really concerned when it comes to specific objectives. So that's the definition of specific objectives, and we really need to know the characteristics. These are the characteristics of specific objectives. They are SMART. You have to get to know that what SMART are. When we are talking about SMART, then we are talking about what is S stand for? Sorry? Go on to try. S. What does S stand for? I want you to try that. So it has to be specific, measurable, achievable, realistic, and and time-bound. So what do we mean by specific? Specific in that it should be specific to a given subject, specific to a given location. Yeah? So there's also that element of specific is very, very important. Then measurable in that you should be able to give it some rate or some numbers. Yeah? When we are talking about measurable, in that you want to achieve it to a what percentage or to what given number. Yeah? So you really need to specify that one. Achievable, it should be something that is achievable based on the resources which are there, and also based on less risk. If at all there's a lot of risk, then the element of achievable cannot be ascertained. So one thing that I just want to mention is that for objectives, it's always very important that you always need to conduct a SWOT analysis. And SWOT analysis will be able to give us a good indicator of this, whether it is going to be achievable. And I'm going to teach you also at a later stage how we can be able to do SWOT analysis based on themes and based on various specific variables which are under the area themes. So that from every theme we are able to know the variables, the specific dependent variables which are there. And from those dependent variables, we can be able to analyze each and every variable based on strength, weakness, opportunity, and threats, which will be able to enable you to get to know the achievable part of it based on the strength, the resources which are there, and also based on the risk which are there. So the main thing is that there should be low risk and high resources. It's a good way of able to ascertain the achievable of objective. It should be realistic. It should be realistic in that it should be something that is existing, which is there. And time bound is based on a given period of time. Another thing is that they have both independent and dependent variables. They have also dependent and independent variables. Activities originate from objectives. And the resultant the results the results of objectives are known as outcome. So those are the characteristics of objectives. So I want us to go straight to look into the steps of developing specific objectives. Steps of developing specific objectives. So one thing I just want to mention, which is very, very important, is that once an issue has occurred, or maybe it's an outbreak, or it's something that is very severe with a big magnitude, and which show the impact estimated in terms of damages or in health it has caused. Then, as a researcher or as a project manager, then you really need to come up with a proposal. Then, for that reason, then it will be good for you to start at one step to another. And the first step is always very important, that you really have to conduct a literature review over that particular kind of theme that has come up, right, in terms of the issue that is affecting the community. It could be either cholera outbreak, it could be malaria, prevalence being high, HIV being high, whichever the issue is. Then you start to the point of conducting a literature review. Literature review is basically you want to understand much more about this issue. So one thing I just want to make it clear that as you conduct literature review, then you really need to use a given concept, which is called as a problem tree diagram. So I'm going to introduce you to problem tree diagram, which is going to be the theme that we have as the core. So I'm going to draw the tree, then I'll explain how it operates. So let's imagine this is a tree. Let's imagine this is a tree. Then the tree has the roots. So these are the roots of a tree. So these are the branch of the tree, and these are the roots of the tree. So issues that always affect the community operates just like a tree. In that, in what cases, if a cholera outbreak has taken place or there's high malaria prevalence, it's always very easy that we see the issue that is affecting. It's always very easy to see. But normally seeing the underlying causing factors of an issue is always very hard to see, unless you take your time to go and do investigation. As you do investigation is when you are able to get the roots which are causing factors. Yeah. So maybe I can give example that in the case of maybe the branch here is child impact. So in a situation whereby that many children are suffering from a given disease, then we can talk about child impact as being the branch. Now, is the root causing factors? These are the things that we really need to investigate. So why do we use the problem tree diagram concept? The reason why we use the problem tree diagram concept is that as it applies in trees, that if you always want to get rid of a tree completely, then you really need to uproot it off. It's okay. You need to uproot it. Other than if you cut it from here still, it will be able to grow because the roots are still there. So you really need to uproot. So we really always need to deal with this. So basically, as we deal with this, we're always sure that we're able to tackle this. So in the real sense, these are always comprised of the cause, while these always comprised of the specific objectives. And in the primary healthcare normally depend more on this. So this is where the primary healthcare depends most. And this is where the rehabilitative and curative care takes place. So we are always so much concerned with the primary health care because primary health care try to deal with the underlying causing factors, which are the root causing factors to the major issue, which is the third one, and that's it. So we really need to work so much, which thanks to community health strategy, which always try to focus more onto the primary health care with the use of community health workers, who teach us much more on these root causing factors and how to tackle them and how to tackle them. So it's very, very important that we really need to get to the bottom line of the issue, and that's how we can use various methods. One important method is that literature review. So we have the various methodologies to use. Methodologies to identify the root causes. So we have literature review. We have key informant interview. can use transect work, transect work, and look, listen, and look, listen, and learn. We have brainstorming, and then we have focus group discussion. Now, I want to mention this, that it's always very important that you start with the literature review. The reason why I will always prefer you start with literature review, because at the beginning you might not know all the variables, all the root causing factors to a certain issue, and you can only know them once you conduct a literature review. So literature review is whereby you have the opportunity to read various materials. As you read various materials, then you're able to identify many causing factors towards child ill health. So you'll be listing them down. So once you list them down, you'll able to realize that you list quite so many. Some will be not be applicable to your region or within the country. Maybe you find that some are only applicable to other countries, which could be other developed countries, or a developed country which is below Kenya development status. So not everything that you found in the literature review will be of value or will be more of importance on reducing child ill health. So, but it's still important that you have to conduct a literature review and identify these causing factors. And the reason why one causing factor will not be the real causing factor in Kenya is because of the various different changes in terms of economic, social, and religion and culture will be different with other countries. So that's tells us that as much you identify them, then it's always good to validate the findings that you get from the literature review. And the way to validate is to conduct now a key informant interview. You can do brainstorming, you can do focus group discussion. So this will be just a way to just eliminate some of the other things which are not of more important to be used to develop specific objectives, and to use ones which are of relevant and which are of more important or which have some kind of linkages, link with the issue at hand. So that's very important, and that's always the best way to develop a questionnaire which is valid, and then the questionnaires you develop, then as you are going to analyze, then you are going to get the real causing factors of that problem, the real causing factors of that problem within that community. It's okay. So like if I try to child ill health, you get these causing factors of child ill health. We have exclusive breastfeeding. Can you mention them? Malnutrition. Sleeping at a mosquito net. So these are the specific variables, and then once you identify the specific variables, then you will always come up with specific objectives. I give you time now. To be able to bring a positive result. or an outcome to the independent variables. So this is the table. After drawing this table, let's say these are independent. Independent variables. Where these are dependent. So independent variables are basically sort of like interventions that you put in place to be able to give the positive results here. So we can talk about training. We can talk about creating awareness. We can talk about demonstration. We can talk about sensitization. Yeah, okay. Now, let's imagine that we have the exclusive breastfeeding here. Exclusive breastfeeding. We have malnutrition. Which is basically balanced meal, balanced diet. We have sleeping under mosquito net. We now want you to see or result out with this independent and independent. See which independent variables is really relevant in bringing a positive change within this independent variables. Like when we talk about exclusive breastfeeding, is it training which is very relevant to bring that positive outcome on exclusive breastfeeding, or is it creating awareness? Is it demonstration? Is it sensitization? We did talk about something which is very important, which is immunization. Sorry. Immunization is very, very important here. Don't know how comes and miss it. Immunization. So you can add immunization here. So that's very, very important in terms of reducing child impact. Maybe for immunization we can talk about so very, very important. Now I just want us now to do this exercise together in that you can just try to come up with a specific objective. Maybe I can develop the first one, then the second one you can develop. You can, or someone want to give a trial. Okay, let me say that you want to increase the maternal mothers who are practicing exclusive breastfeeding. So for exclusive breastfeeding, which kind of independent variables will be more necessary to use to bring the positive outcome of this? Creating awareness. Okay. So these are specific objective one. percentage mothers practicing two years from now is by the year 2025. As you get to know that objectives take 2 years. So this is our objective, which is focused on exclusive breastfeeding. As you can see that we have independent variables and dependent variables. So the independent variables here already we have the creating awareness. And while the dependent variables we have the exclusive breastfeeding, which we are so concerned in order to bring a positive results, which increasing the percentage of mothers practicing exclusive breastfeeding. So if you even analyze this objective in terms of SMART, you can find it specific. It's specific to given location, which is your county. It's specific to mothers, who are practicing specific breastfeeding. Maybe you can talk about lactating mothers. Lactating mothers, to make it more specific. What is about lactating mothers practicing exclusive breastfeeding? So basically when we are talking about exclusive breastfeeding, without necessarily even, there's no need or even information that enough for the children or 6-month-old. It comes automatically, you know that now we're talking about the under 6-month-old. So one thing is that also I need to mention is that normally we always have different adjectives, and if these adjectives can either make us to realize whether it's qualitative or quantitative. There are some other cases you can talk about improve, but in this our case we are talking about increase, which shows that we are concerned on the numbers, which percentage basically numbers. Then these objectives qualify to be known as quantitative. But in case our objective could have been improved, then we will have now be talking about the quality of the service or quality of the breastfeeding. But we are more concerned on the numbers, and it's our objective. So maybe you can look at again for another objective. Objective, we talk about which objective? Maybe you can talk about distribution. Maybe I think distribution will be more necessary. So we can talk about I prefer you use distribution. Please. Percentage of mothers, sleeping under hospital. Distribution of land. Distribution of land in Sia County by the year 2025. By the year 2025. So basically, the things that our independent variables is one, but we are more concerned on sleeping under mosquito net. Sleeping under mosquito net. So when we are talking, when we are analyzing whether it's smart because we are talking about mothers with children and concerned with the increase percentage, which is very specified there. And it's time bound based on this. About the achievable, then we can analyze the achievable part of it once we conduct a SWOT analysis. Then we can give us information with regards to whether it's achievable in terms of the resources which are there, and also in terms of less needs which are there. Okay. What does develop the third objective? We want to tackle the third objective. Can try for immunization. We can talk about I think we can talk about to increase the uptake of immunization. Say accounting. By 13%. Sensitizing on the importance so we can do that in that we can sensitize the community on the importance of immunization. So we have used the sensitization as independent variables, and we are more concerned on immunization, which we want to increase the uptake, and we are specific within say county and by the year 2025. So I do believe up to that moment, junction, we all know how to come up with specific objectives. So one thing is that there's independent variables is where normally the activities originate. So for this, then we are going to come up with activities. So we are going to come up with activities. So activities. So they originate from the independent variables. Because the independent variables have to be operationalized. Independent variables have to be operationalized. So very, very important that we really have to operationalize the independent variables. And from that, so as we operationalize, then we come up with activities. So that's the importance of activities. They originate from independent variables, which are the things that we mentioned, like learning, awareness, sensation, distribution, and the rest. Yeah. So is this independent variables, as I said, they are information, and they are the ones that are more concerned in terms of bringing a positive outcome. The independent variables, which at the end of the day, then have objectives event. So then they originate from the independent variables. Then they are sequential in order. They are sequential. Sequential in order. i.e. activity A has to take place first. Has to take place before activity B. Then another thing is that the results or the deliverables, the results are known as output. So those are the most important characteristics that we need to get to know whenever we are coming up with activities. And one thing is that you have to be logical as much as possible in these characteristics. And maybe if I can be able to say something about this sequential order, just I can give an example. When you are building a house, very, very important to ensure that you start from the foundation. Then from the foundation, you go to the wall, and the wall, you go to the floor, then to the roof, then you come and do the painting of the house, and the floor, then you do the finishing. You can't say that you want to start by painting the wall after activity 1, then you want to put the roof, that's activity 2, then you want to put the foundation activity 3, then the floor. It won't make sense. So it's always very, very important that really need to be logical and try to make sense as you are ready to do it. Just try to ensure that we start by what needs to be done first, and then arrange the separation order as it. Because at the end of the day, it has to be operationalized. And as it will be operationalized, being operationalized within a given schedule called activity schedule. And then that activity schedule plan is able to state what needs to be done first before the second activity be done. So you find that when you have people who are responsible for implementing this activity, that everyone will know a specific time of implementing this or her activity. And once it is done, there is implementation of activity A, for activity which is accountable to him or is responsible to, then be able to surrender to the next person who come and implement the next activity. So it's very, very important that that sequential arrangement is very, very important when you are developing activities. So very fast, we can come up with activity for a given objective. I don't know, we can use which objective. We use objective 1 or objective 2 or objective 3. We can just but I really wanted to come up with one which is really sequential in order. I really wanted to come up with one which is very sequential in order. let's use the immunization campaign. So maybe first one we conduct immunization campaign. Conduct immunization. Then after that, what do you think will be the next one after conducting immunization campaign? Then we can also print posters, yeah. Print posters. Yeah. After printing posters, what should we do? We can also inform local leaders, yeah. Inform local leaders. Then we can post posters, yeah. Posters and banners. This is for immunization campaign, yeah. So basically we are concerned with the immunization campaign. So basically we've come up with activity, and we are concerned with our specific objective number 3, that we are addressing the uptake of immunization, and we have come up with activities that we want to conduct immunization campaign, and then we want to print posters to inform them about the immunization campaign. We also want to inform local leaders, the chief, village elders, we need to inform them, and maybe also the pastors who are there, so that they can inform people that we have a immunization campaign within the region. Then also if we have the posters and the banners, we can also post them in different strategic positions whereby people can be able to see and get informed that on a specific date there will be immunization campaign, so that people find the availability of given so they always go in terms of numbers or percentage, like the number of people immunized or the number of children immunized, the percentage of child mortality, or the percentage of reduction in child mortality, the percentage of food production. Yeah, so those are indicators. They always go in terms of numbers. Yeah. So those are examples of indicators we can talk about. Percentage of children immunized. Percentage, number of people trained. Number of trainings conducted. Percentage of child care, or percentage, okay. Percentage of child care. The cost of raw materials. So I just want to mention that indicators can always check on the goals, objectives, activities, and inputs. If you are very sharp or very, if you are very sharp, you realize that there are some indicators here which are more specific on activities. Like this one is for activities. This is for activity also. Percentage of child immunized, this is for objective. This is an indicator that measures the objectives. This is an indicator which measures the inputs, which are the raw materials that are used here. So indicators, they measure both the goals, the activities, the objectives, and the raw materials. Then we have something known as impact. So impact basically it measures the resultant the results of a goal. Yeah. So the results of a goal is known as impact. Then after impact, we have outcome. So this is results of goals. The results of goals. Outcome and results of objectives. Then we have the output, results of activities. So if someone asks you what the impact, get to know that he's referring to the goals. Someone asks the outcome, get to know that he's talking about the objectives. Output, get to know that he's talking about the activities. The only thing at times impact is a bit confusing because at times that we can also have some long-term impact in that you might be concerned with improving food security within the county or within a given region. Maybe it could be a village. And in case the food production will increase in that village, then it can have impact on education enrollment and also education performance. And the way it has impact in that with children able to eat well, they can able to concentrate well in class, and with that concentration can be able to boost their cognitive level, and they can able to perform well in school, hence making that village or the school in that village to perform much better compared to other years when the food production was a little bit low. At the same time, also parents, being that the food production has gone up, they can able to have enough income to take their children to school in terms of paying their fees, so that the educational enrollment at the end of it can able to increase. So the impact, we find that it has as much the project was focused on increasing food production, but we can able to see that it has had some impact on education in improving the enrollment and also increasing increasing the enrollment and also improving on the performance of the children in school. Also maybe also it can also have an impact like in food production. You can also check on the malnutrition. If you go to the health facility, then you might be shocked to realize that the malnutrition level has gone down. Children who used to come in malnutrition cases no longer exist at that moment because the food production increase has had that kind of long-term impact within the community in terms of reducing the children who are having malnutrition issues. So I think class up to that point, then I think I believe you are ripe enough for us or for you to grasp the logical framework. So from this point, then allow me to go to logical framework unless anybody has a question which he or she wants to address. Then we have the assumption. So I did talk about this tool. Means of verification, they are just documents or way of verifying that the actual indicator has been achieved. Yeah. The indicator or the pointer or something, the measurability aspect of the indicator has been achieved. So we can always verify that one by the means of verification, which we can always put there. And most of the time they are always in document form or in form of given material. But at times also we can also use observation. It can also be a personal means of verification for a person at the personal level. But it's not always accurate in that it doesn't have a written thing or a written document. Yeah. So someone cannot believe from your own observation point of view, but at your personal level you can always verify and confirm that actually this activity was implemented. So it's very good to have some kind of a document. Maybe if you take a photo could be a good means of verification. If you also have some receipts, if you have some publication, some reports, can be a good way of means of verification. Assumption basically, it will be very important that I need to take you through how to conduct SWOT analysis based on the specific variables that we identify under each and every theme. If we can analyze them to check on each and every strength, weakness, opportunity, and threats, then in this part of threats, then we can able to identify the risk which are attached to various goals and various objectives. So as we come out to assumption, after doing a SWOT analysis based on this risk, then we are able to see how we can able to use the risk management or risk strategic method to able to view risk in a positive way. In that as much the risk is there, but it should not stop us or hinder us from moving on. Now, using a risk matrix or risk strategy, you can able to come up with a good assumption, which is based on your own calculation, or from your own strategies or which you put in place in order to counteract or to tackle the occurrence of risk, just in case they occur during the implementation of your project or your proposal. So we will go straight to objective. We can do the objective 3 here. Yes, for the year 2025. Then we can state the activities. Activities 1 is activity 1 is just read for me. Class, someone read for me. What is the activity? To conduct immunization campaign. Two is which one? Three. Then the fourth one. About percentage of immunization. Immunization after, or percentage of children immunized. Number of posters, number of posters posted. And the means of verification here will be Kenya Demographic Health Survey, Ministry of Health report. Here we talk about still KDHS, MOH report. You can conduct a baseline survey. Baseline survey, etc. Here we talk about number of campaigns conducted. We can talk about report for number of campaign conductors, number of posters printed. Also, we can talk about reports here. Basically, I think in this case we just talk about reports. Number of posters, printed reports, and receipts.
that show that they are printed. Number of local leaders formed. Also, here is a report. Number of posters posted. Observation could be here. Observation. You can also take pictures to show that posters have been posted, and pictures. Observation and pictures. Pictures will prove beyond doubt that actually they are.
So assumption. So basically we can check on the risk. Maybe for all we can say that the policy will be favorable in child ill health, or policy. Maybe if the policy was there as part of the risk, then we can have an assumption that the policy will be favorable in improving the child health, child health care services. Then here we can talk about culture, beliefs, and attitude. Culture, beliefs, and attitude. Towards immunization. What can we do about culture, beliefs, and attitude? Maybe will be minimized through sensitization. So there are some people who have beliefs that immunization kills their babies. They have beliefs, they have culture, attitude that does not allow them to take their children to school. Children to campaign. So for that reason then, we can have an assumption that culture, beliefs, and attitude towards immunization will be minimized through sensitization. So if we sensitize them on the importance so that they don't have that negative attitude or fear of not taking their children to immunization, then it's a good way that we can able to minimize it to that level whereby even it should not exist anymore. So this is the logical framework. And after logical framework, we always continue to expected output.
Expected output. Because of space, I want to receive
limited by space. So in case of expected output, then you can write expected output. Yes, before you can just write expected output, then you can. So in expected output, we look at the number of immunization campaign conducted. Sorry. Expected output, let's say that 100 immunization, no, 100 is too high. Let's say 10 immunization campaign conducted. 10 immunization campaign conducted. Expecting, and 10 immunization campaign conducted. That is under output. It's inside the meaning. It's inside the logical framework. We are still continuing the logical framework here. Because of space, I cannot continue. So I just write expected output and then continue this level. Then write 100 posters printed. 100 posters printed. Then write 10 local leaders informed. 10 local leaders informed. Then for the fourth one, 100 posters.
And banners posted.
100 posters
And banners.
posted. 100 posters and banners posted. So the indicators under the activities are the same indicators that will be there for the expected output. These are, and also the same for means of verification. The same. For the expected output, we don't have an assumption. So after expected output, the data part now write inputs. Write inputs on the data part. So inputs will comprise of things like we need microphone, public address. Let's talk about public address. We need earphones. We need nurses. Maybe I want to add another activity here which I did talk about, which is very important to conduct immunization campaign. Conduct immunization. Sorry, this is very important. I don't know how comes I forgot about it. So at the end of it, the immunization will be conducted, and an indicator is that numbers of children immunized. Numbers of children immunized. Yeah, so number of children immunized. So maybe for expected output, we can say that 1,000 children immunized. Yeah. So expected output is basically the output, what we expected to come as a result of the activities. So for every activity, there should always be an expected output attached to it. And you should always quantify those expected output. In that, from that element of quantify them, then we can always measure them in that to verify that they have been achieved or not. It's okay. So once you draw this, then it will be very easy for you to understand the monitoring and evaluation tool, because all this will be able to appear for monitoring and evaluation. And also for the input, they're able to appear within the budget. So in the budget also, we're able to develop budget for the inputs, which are basically the vehicles, the vaccine. Vaccine is one of the inputs. You can write vaccine. And also you can write syringe, maybe this need of having a syringe. We already wrote nurse, which is nurses. You need nurses. Okay. So you allow me to wrap? So what the objective was? The objective 3 was to increase uptake of So let's say it continue like that. Activities here. Second one. Third one. Next one. Huh? Next one. So the expected output for this one is 10. This one, what? How many posters do you want?
100.
This one?
10.
This one?
100.
This one? Okay. So we're able to do the actual output in that now in the month of January, how many immunizations were conducted, yeah? So maybe say that we conducted 2 here. February we conducted 1. It should be, we can do it in an accumulative way. Or let's just do the real one, yeah? So let's say that March we did 1, April we did 2, March we did 1, June we did 3, yeah? Then here we did 2. So how many are those? So we have surpassed the expected, yeah? So maybe here we have done well. You know, when you surpass also show that it's a great work done, yeah? Posters, let's say January we printed 40. Yeah, we didn't print any. Yeah, we printed 20. Yeah, we didn't print, we print maybe 5. Yeah, we printed 20. Then here we printed 0, 0. In total it comes 85, yeah? Maybe that will raise a question mark, why did we print less, yeah, than what was required? Leaders, maybe we informed 4 here, we informed here, we informed 3, we informed nothing, we informed nothing, we informed 1, we informed 1. If you people now, you are having a review, you are analyzing, maybe you are we always have the quarterly review meetings. In the quarterly review meetings, you can always analyze your objectives, be able to know so far, are we somewhere, or have you achieved something, yeah? Or you can always have annual review or semi-annual review. So in semi-annual reviews, this kind of a reporting tool will be able to give us. We can't talk about number of children leaders, those are indicators. Yeah, indicators are talking about numbers. This is activity. To conduct immunization is activity. So that's what we are so much concerned with. So I want us to talk about the various themes and to check on various variables under these themes, which really we want to know so that maternal health, stroke maternal mortality. Here we will, there's also sleeping under mosquito net. Sleeping under mosquito net. So here we talk about sleeping under mosquito net is also here. We talk about postnatal care. We talk about nutrition feeding. And nutrition feeding, we are talking about balanced meal, yeah? Nutrition feeding is also here, yeah? Nutrition, strong balanced meal, yeah? We talk about antenatal care. We talk about health facility delivery. Facility delivery.
3, let's talk about sanitation and hygiene here. Sanitation. So sanitation and hygiene, treating drinking water. We talk about proper waste disposal. Drainage of stagnant water, drainage of sewage or stagnant water. Proper food storage. Proper food storage is part of hygiene. Proper food storage and processing. Okay. Food security. Let's look for what you'll be able to do under food security. Food security. First, food security will have increase in food production, increase in agricultural production, increase in agriculture production. I want you to have an idea of various things which are there and the specific variables that are there under each and various, under each and everything, so that when someone tells you to come up with a goal on maternal health, then after developing a goal, you know the specific objectives to come up with. And if someone tells you to come up with a goal on sanitation and hygiene, then you are able to come up with specific objectives under sanitation and hygiene. The other thing is very important to get to know the difference between sanitation and hygiene. So the difference is that sanitation is more general, it's more outside, which is more of environment. Sanitation is more of environment, but hygiene is more personal. Looking at your own care in terms of the food you eat, how you take care of yourself in terms of being neat and being decent, and also the water you drink, whether you drink it or not. And also food security, if you come up with a goal of food security, then basically these are the specific objectives that you can come up with to just ensure that the community is secure. It's okay. So I just want to mention something very fast, then we can pray. The weakness. Opportunities. So let me say like we have maternal ill health, and maternal ill health we have antenatal care, we have postnatal care, we have nutrition balance, we have balance meal, we have health facility delivery,
What's another thing again? Then number two, you can also come and analyze. You can come and analyze sanitation and hygiene. Analysis of sanitation hygiene, then we are talking about proper waste disposal, proper waste disposal, strategic water. What did you have again? Drainage of standard water. Stagnant water, maybe stored sewage. We had proper food storage. Now, we can always conduct our SWOT analysis based on this format. And if we conduct SWOT analysis based on this format, then it should be able to give you a clear picture of the various dependent variables that are relevant and feasible and realistic. So as we do this, then we can always ascertain the relevance, the feasibility, and sustainability of our project. When we are talking about relevance, we are talking about the link which is there. Yeah, the link that specific objective have with the situation at hand, and also the link that the goal has with the situation at hand. So that's why we always really need to do research and to find out and validate what the variables we have, if they are really having that kind of connection, but if at all they are really existing, the root causes are the really ones that are leading towards that goals or maybe the issue that you are facing. Then also feasibility is basically based on the resources which are there. And normally the resources are always the strength and opportunity. Those are the resources. So we can always ascertain that based from this one. Get to know that is it feasible, and is it feasible only based if we are sure that it can be done. So there should be, for feasibility, there should be a lot of strength, and there should be also opportunity, and there should be less weakness. So we can be able to ascertain the feasibility based on strength, opportunity being more, and weakness and threats being less. And also the same also to sustainability. Sustainability is also based on strength, and opportunity being more, and threats being less. So that's why it's very, very important to conduct this SWOT analysis. And after conducting this SWOT analysis, to give you a clear picture based on the relevance, based on the feasibility, and based on the sustainability of the project. Is there any question? Maybe someone can ask what are strength, weakness, opportunities, or threats. So maybe you can just write them down. Then you will be able to analyze this for yourself. So strength and basically strength and ideas. Strength and ideas. Which the community have put into practice. The community have put into practice. Strength and ideas which the community have put into practice. and they have worked best, they have worked best. These are existing ideas. These are existing ideas that the communities have not put into use. Existing ideas in the community have not put into use. But they have great potential. They have great potential of bearing greater results. They have great potential of bearing greater results if put into use. If put into use. If put into use. Example, in the community are having fertile land. The community are having fertile land. Community are having fertile land and they are not using it for agricultural production. And they are not using it for agricultural production. Then we have opportunity. And fertile land is an opportunity. Fertile land is an opportunity. What are risks? Risks are uncertainties beyond the community. Risks are uncertainties beyond the community. Risks are uncertainties beyond the community. Example are beliefs, attitude, culture, beliefs, attitude, religion, policies, So once you understand the meaning of strength, weakness, opportunity, and threat, then based on your own time, you can able